Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. This is Sir June, your philosophy and social science teacher. I am also writing a book in the readings in the Philippine history. And so for today's video, we are going to talk about the social, political, economic, and cultural issues in the Philippine history. So maraming issue at saka maraming mga problems that we have to discuss in this series of discussions. So sa video ito, this is the first part. We shall be talking about the Philippine Constitution. So, one by one, i-discuss natin yung Philippine Constitutions at saka yung mga problema, mga issue, and of course, the context, the perspective, and the circumstances behind the provision of this particular Constitution. So, ano pang hinantay natin? Let's do this! Pero bago ang lahat, hihingin ko muna ang inyong suporta sa pamamagitan ng pag-subscribe sa ating munting channel. At i-press mo na rin yung notification bell para updated ka sa lahat ng videos at saka sa mga bagong videos na ating i-upload. But before we are going to talk about the Biak-na-Bato Constitution at saka the Malolos Republic, let us talk about what we mean by Constitution. So when we say Constitution, this is the supreme law of the Republic. So this is the highest law of the land. So this is a set of principles or fundamental principles or established precedents according to which a state or other organization is governed. So this is definitely the highest law of our Republic. Ngayon, bago natin pag-usapan ang Malolos Republic or Malolos Constitution, pag-usapan muna natin itong Biak-na-Bato Republic or Constitution of 1897. The Constitution of Biak-na-Bato was the provisionary constitution of the Philippine Republic. It was during the Philippine Revolution. Now, we have to understand that this was done towards the end of the Philippine and Spanish Revolution. So it was promulgated by the Philippine Revolutionary Government on November 1, 1897. Now, the Constitution was actually borrowed from Cuba and it was written by Isabelo Artacho and Felix Ferrer. It was written in Spanish, but later on it was translated into Tagalog. To understand the content and the context of this Biak-na-Bato Republic or Constitution, let us look at the preamble of this Constitution. From the primary source, the preamble of the Biak-na-Bato Constitution. The separation of the Philippines from the Spanish monarchy and their formation into an independent state with its own government called the Philippine Republic has been the end sought by the revolution in the existing war, begun on the 24th of August 1896, and therefore, in its name and by the power delegated by the Filipino people, interpreting faithfully their desires and ambitions, we, the representative of the revolution, in a meeting at Biak-na-Bato, November 1, 1897, unanimously adopted the following articles for the Constitution of the state. Upon analyzing the preamble of the Biak-na-Bato Constitution, malalaman natin that this Constitution was created to separate the Philippines from the Spaniards or from the government of Spain. So this definitely speaks of an independent state, a state that is free from the hands of those colonizers, especially the Spain. Definitely, the context and the perspective of this particular constitution was actually based on the revolutionary government created by, of course, started by Andres Bonifacio, who founded the Katipunan. However, this was the time already of Emilio Aguinaldo and not of Andres Bonifacio. And so, malalaman natin na yung perspektibo dito ay coming from the perspective of the group of Emilio Aguinaldo. Ngunit, sa kasamaang palad, the Biak-na-Bato Constitution was never fully and it was not really implemented in reality. Why? Because the Biak-na-Bato was signed between the Spanish government and the Philippine Revolutionary Army, represented by Emilio Aguinaldo, of course. However, we have to understand that what happened in history is that during the Treaty of Paris, no, after the Spaniards signed the Biak-na-Bato, yung kasunduan, ang nangyayari is in the Treaty of Paris, the Philippines was actually sold by the Spaniards to the Americans with the amount of 20 million US dollars. So, the Philippines ended up to the hands of the Americans, and therefore we never had our independent and a sovereign state or nation. After signing the truce also, or the Biak-na-Bato Constitution, the Filipino revolutionary leaders, especially the group of Aguinaldo, of course it was Aguinaldo who led the revolutionary government during the time, they accepted the payment from Spain, and they went to exile in Hong Kong. No? Upon the defeat of the Spanish to the Americans in the Battle of Manila Bay on May 1, 1898, the United States Navy transported Emilio Aguinaldo in going back to the Philippines. So that is the second reason why the Biak-na-Bato Constitution was never fully implemented in reality, because it did not really create an independent state. In fact, it ended up being in which the Philippines was actually handed over to another colonizer. So from the hands of the Spaniards, now to the hands of the Americans. Ang naging problema din was that the Biak-na-Bato Constitution was not accepted by the Americans. It was not recognized, of course, by the Americans. So that is why it was not really implemented in reality. It was not fully implemented. So that was a failure. Now, although ang magandang nangyari doon is that they started to create that independent state. No, nandoon yung desire ng mga Filipino to have our freedom from the hands of the Spanish colonizers. So biruin mo nga naman, they were colonizing us for more than 300 years. So if you were there in their situation, makikita mo na they have that passion, they have that desire really to have an independent state. At yun yung magandang simula doon. Sinimula nila na magkaroon tayo ng isang independent republic, which is of course independent from foreign controls. And that ends our first part of our discussion on the social, political, economic, and cultural issues of the readings in the Philippine history. Don't forget to subscribe, and of course, abangan ninyo yung part 2 ng ating discussion, because we will be talking about the Malolos Republic at saka ano yung naging problema, why was it not implemented, and what were the circumstances, at ano yung context and perspective of the Malolos Republic. See you sa next video natin.